PrimeVOLT Single-Phase Grid Tie Inverter Installation Guide. Our grid tie inverter with excellent performance and efficiency to convert solar energy to AC power, generate more electricity, then bring higher yield to customers. Inverter can be monitored on app with network connected. Customers can also manage their plants remotely. This video will guide you the installation of inverter, including steps: preparation before installing, inverter installation, electrical connection, communication accessory, power on inverter, and commissioning. Unpacking carton and take inverter out. Let's have a look at inverter connectors first. From left to right, we could see DC switch to cut off PV input power, PV terminals to connect PV string. For 7 kilowatt inverter, there are 2 pairs of terminal. For 8 to 10 kilowatt inverter, there are 3 pairs of terminal. Communication port 2 for RS485 or CT or meter communication. Communication port 1 to install Wi-Fi or LAN communication module. AC terminal, the output port connect to grid. Grounding terminal to install grounding wire. And the vent valve. At the same time, following packing list to check inverter accessories. Expansion screw to install rear panel on wall. Rear panel to mount inverter. Screws to tighten inverter with rear panel. PV connector screw and its unlock tool. AC terminal cover. And some file documents like quick manual and quality certificate. Besides, here introduce other tools required for installation: hammer, drill, adjustable wrench, socket wrench, hex wrench, nipper pliers, diagonal pliers, wire stripper, crimping pliers, cross screwdriver, straight screwdriver, multimeter, DC terminal tightening tool. Inverter must be installed at the place where is free from direct exposure of sunlight, rain, and snow, with enough space and good cooling condition to ensure performance and longer lifetime. Taking out rear panel and install it on wall or bracket. Mount inverter to rear panel and tighten the screws. Wiping off insulation layer of ground cable. Tighten the cable into OT terminal. Removing the screws of inverter ground terminal, install the ground cable. Wiping off insulation layer of AC cables. Tighten the cables into OT terminals. Insulating each cable by tape or heat shrinkable tube. Loosening the prevention nut of AC terminal cover. Cross cables through them. Installing live, neutral, earth wires to terminals and tighten each screws. Installing terminal cover back to AC port, then tighten the prevention nut. Identifying PV connectors, the positive and negative ones, as well as metal connectors matching to them. Wiping off insulation layer of PV cables. Crimping them well with metal connectors by pliers. Please pay attention, the crimping limiter on positive metal connector. Loosening the prevention nuts of PV connectors. Cross crimped cables through nuts and insert them to connectors. Then lock nuts and connectors well. Measuring and checking voltage and polarities of PV string by multimeter. inserting strings into corresponding PV terminals of inverter until a click sound. Removing screws and plate of communication port 1. Insert Wi-Fi module. Then install screws back. Wiping off insulation layer of communication cables, loosening prevention nut and cross cables through it, and cover. Install cables on connector. Removing screws and plate of communication port 2. Insert connector to a terminal. Lock nut well and install cover back on communication port 2. Check wires of PV, AC, and communication are all connected well. Turn on AC switch in distribution box. Turn on DC switch of inverter. Inverter LED indicator will be on. When inverter start up, customer can connect to inverter on app to monitor inverter data and status or configure Wi-Fi and other settings. Please refer our app video for detail guide.